Hello, my name is Shell Atkins, and I will be doing my presentation on comprehension. Lisa Bluow informs us of 5 surefire strategies to reading fluencies. Those 5 strategies are model fluent reading, 2, do repeated readings in class, 3, prompts phrase reading in class, 4, enlist tutors to help out, and 5, try reading theaters in class. Lisa believed that without fluency, the world of imagination, humor, and drama contained in the finest books is no more than a tangle of words. One, model fluent reading. Students must hear what fluent reading sounds like. Teachers can engage in read alouds. Read alouds is when someone reads aloud orally to a group of people. The teacher must read with expression, choose selections carefully, expose students to different genres. It benefits the students because it helps them to transfer those experiences to their own reading. Questions a teacher can ask the students after a read aloud is, by hearing me read aloud, and how did I keep you engaged while I read? And let the students share their thoughts. Number 2, do repeated readings in class. By doing repeated readings, it helps students recognize high frequency words more easily and which strengthens their ease of reading. Teachers can use 2 reading strategies to help repeatings in class, which is echo reading and echo reading. The teacher reads a line and all the students repeat the line back to you. Choral reading is when the class reads the entire passage together aloud. These strategies can be effective for promoting fluency because all students are actively engaged. It also promotes high self-esteem, and the student doesn't have to read alone. Promote phrase reading in class. Phrase reading is when reading phrases seamlessly is an important part of fluency. It helps students to read better. One strategy that Bluow talked about was choosing a poem and writing its lines on center strips or cue cards and let them read those cards aloud. This shows students that words can be read in clusters, not each word separately. Enlist tutors to help out. Teachers can help students more, non-fluent readers more, by assigning them a tutor. Tutors include instructional aides, parent volunteers, or older students. The session may last up to 15 minutes. The teacher can also provide tutors with the text that they plan on using in upcoming lessons so they can become familiar with it. Tutors help non-fluent readers on instructional time, and it provides students a head start on the next lesson. It helps students not to feel left behind, and it also makes them feel more confident. Try Reader's Theater class. Reader's Theater is an oral performance of a script, and it's the best way to promote fluency. The focus of this class is to interpret the script rather than memorizing it. It helps build self-esteem and confidence. During the Reader's Theater class, they can use oral or echo um, reading strategies, and when the students feel comfortable, then they will include props and costumes to recite the script. They can use the script. It doesn't focus mainly on memorizing. They can use the script. And when they are doing this performance, someone can video the performance and let the students assess how they did. This is a recognizer of Bluow's reading strategies. Assessing comprehension processes. When assessing comprehension, we must know what the problem looks like. The student must be able to make inferences, know vocabulary, familiar with grammar and text structure, and be able to monitor their comprehension. Poor comprehenders may be able to read fluently, but they may not comprehend everything they're reading. We can assess their knowledge of the text by trying to engage the child in more taxing discussions about a book they are reading, or generally by asking whether they like reading or what they like to read. Inferences. Inferences help build on vocabulary, prior knowledge, and verbal working memory. Inferences is when a person uses details or prior knowledge to come to a conclusion of something, and they are supported by text. An example of student making inferences is if a teacher gives two different sentences. One of the first sentence may say the dog ran toward its owner. The second sentence will say the owner had a dog treat. The students can infer that the dog ran toward the owner because he or she had a dog treat. Vocabulary and background knowledge. Knowing the meanings of words and having background knowledge supports comprehension. It can also help them mentally see what they are reading. They are both learned from text and they can make more inferences. Two ways to teach vocabulary is by teaching specific words and by teaching students to acquire new vocabulary. By teaching specific words, it explains keywords and links them to topic knowledge before the children read the text. When keywords are known, it is much easier to build a mental model of the context of the text. Um, Teaching students to acquire new vocabulary, we must instruct children in ways to derive meanings from context and teach word knowledge through morphology. Grammar and cohesive ties. It is when comprehenders integrate the meanings of clauses and sentences together in a text. It can be guided by linguistic knowledge. Keywords signal the text. Text structure. It signals connections between ideas. It helps people to create a mental picture of the story. It can also help them comprehend the story better, and it supports inference making. Text structures include anaphors, connectives, and pronouns. Comprehension monitoring. It occurs when the readers or listeners reflect on his or her own understanding. It helps them recognize mistakes and assess their own understanding. How to assess comprehension monitoring. A teacher can give out 3 short passages and have the students to point out errors in the passage. This is also another graphic organizer that I use to show the connections between inferences, vocabulary, and background knowledge, grammar and cohesive ties, um, grammar and cohesive ties, um, grammar and cohesive ties, text structure, and comprehension monitoring. This is the end of my project 3, and I hope you enjoyed it.